Okay. Hi, we're recording now. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this July 1st Monday call, the July kickoff call. So I love a brand new month, clean slate, time to reboot, refill, regroup, reinfused with new energy. Congratulations on a fabulous June. Many of you are on this call who just had a fantastic month, and congratulations to each and every one of you for June, no matter what. So this is what we want you to get out of this call. We want you to leave it really being inspired to take major action this month, knowing that our team, that Beauty Central has your back, and that also we want you to know that it's going to be fun and invigorating and exciting. July, we have 34 of the team registered for Beauty Summit so far. We know that July has been named the month to qualify for what you'd like to be recognized for at Beauty Summit. Everybody, I believe everybody knows that. And some of you on the call and watching in replay are brand new. Some of you have been here a few years and everywhere in between. But if you are on this call and if you're listening to replays, we just can't stress enough the importance of getting to Beauty Summit and knowing full well it's yet another leap of faith, right? Especially, if you've just come on, or especially if you've been around for a long time. It doesn't really matter. It's a leap of faith no matter what. It requires a big effort in schedule and time and resources for everybody. It's shifting around. It's a big deal. But it's a big deal for a reason, because it does big things for you personally, for us as a group, getting closer and more powerful. And we just can't stress that enough. So that being said, regardless if you're at Beauty Summit or not, what do you want to be recognized for July, both in the real numbers, rank advancements, etc., but also your personal knowledge and belief of what your actions have been and what your plans are. So July is on the surface really all about how you want to be recognized at Beauty Summit, but really, and I've said this before, but really this month is about what you want your fall to be. And this month will actually determine how strong your fall will be, because there's that really hard and fast rule that what you do or don't do this month, or any month, will show up 60 to 90 days later. And that goes both ways. So we just can't stress enough the falling head over heels in love with the infusion of your belief, reignitement of your why, redefinition of your why, if need be, and then falling in love with being in action and deciding full-fledged that's success. That's your version of success. That's how I define success the most. That's what I celebrate the most in team, what's happening and how they feel about what they're doing. So something that is a really great thing, I did a post on this, but one of the best things you could do is listen to Jessica Heron's episode 5 called Goal Getter. And I mentioned that on the last call as well, but it is just so good, and this is the perfect time to listen to it. All about what I've just said. The going for it is what counts. So living the business, living the actionable steps towards those goals is the win, and will get you there. So, it doesn't matter. It's kind of interesting that what's happening right in front of you, result-wise, isn't the actual indicator of your actual success. Over time, it begins to look that way, but you will always be missing the mark more than you're hitting it. And that is the case for everyone going for anything of any level that's worthwhile. We're going to talk a little bit about a few really, really fun key success stories. And that is literally never going to change. So that's the good news, because there's a science to it. There's a science to the success, and you're just going to keep missing the mark. You will hit it, but you'll miss it more often because your goals hopefully are getting bigger and bigger as you grow and grow and grow. So it's about proving to yourself, well, I got this far. I had this many conversations. I can have that many more. I can take this many more steps down the road, and on and on. The past is not the future. Just having that vision and going steps towards it, step towards it, step towards it, and realizing it's not going to really probably look how you think it will look the whole way. People aren't going to do what you think they're going to do. People will do things that you never thought they would, including yourself. But you eat the elephant one bite at a time, but just to keep walking, to keep eating that elephant, and just choose that belief every day. I have found that, your mind will win unless you win your mind first. Setting that set point of personal development and meditation or prayer or whatever it is that you use to connect to your power first, because your default mind will just look to protect you and be reactionary and default to what everybody else is throwing at you and giving you opinions on. But you're the one who really gets to decide, and you get to choose that larger vision, which not everybody will see until it starts to be seen, and then they'll want to be a part of it. So, falling in love with this business means really choosing not to give very much attention to the actual numbers. If the numbers are tripping you up emotionally, you just give them no attention at all, and put your attention on the doing and making sure that you feel good about what you're doing, feeling good because you are doing. And then, you're really on your way to getting everything that you want here. So we've lined up a few fun stories to back this up. Leslie, do you want to add to that or jump into your story section?
No, I mean, I'd love to kick it off with some of these stories. I posted something today from Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, and she's, I just think, a really fascinating person. And I know that she started out selling, Danka was actually the name of the company. It was a fax machine company, back when fax machines were all the rage. And she went door to door, as some of you I'm sure know, selling fax machines, but I don't think that she found it to be very, very fulfilling. And so when she started out with Spanx, she got shot down over and over and over again. And I often laugh thinking about her going maybe to to get venture capital with a bunch of men, because remember, this was a while ago even now, sitting down explaining basically that she's bringing back really tight, uncomfortable underwear to make you look thinner. I mean, can you imagine? It wasn't easy for her. And then look at what she's done. And I posted today, I follow her on Instagram, and she's a really good one to follow, a quote that she had: mindset is the single most important thing you have as an entrepreneur. Work on it daily. And it's exactly what Amelia coaches on, what I coach on, what we all are working so hard to do. But it's that daily piece that's in there every single day. And so when Amelia's talking about making sure that we're plugging into like a podcast every day, to doing meditation, to doing prayer, to really, that's that self-care piece and that mindset piece, and just getting really clear and letting go of outcome and letting go of numbers. I think that's at the heart of what we do. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, we are entrepreneurs. I know I wake up every day and I run my business as if I've invested $1 million in it. And I always encourage, if you've ever coached with me, I always encourage people to do that. I'm like, what if you invested $1 million? Then how would you treat this business? And it's the single thing that I think trips people up the most, because when you've invested a few $100s in a business, it's much easier to walk away when it gets tough, which it inevitably will for every single person, every single entrepreneur, no matter what you're doing, right? So that's why I'm really glad that we're having this call today, so that we can kick off July, which is an important month. It's a fun month. It's a big month. Beauty Central's been working so hard, I think they're coming up with some pretty amazing things for us. I mean, kicking it off with the product that people have been asking for ages, and getting a pediatrician's approval on it. I mean, that product alone is just, you can run with that and have fun with that all month, in addition to all the other things that we know are coming. So I think that this is all it's just kicking off already, and to be something really special. So I'm excited to just do this with you guys. Amelia and I we've been chatting a little bit today, and I think we're both just like bubbling over with just enthusiasm and energy for what's coming, and coming off of June, which was just this really cool month, a month just full of such growth. It was just like really organically setting everybody up for this amazing July. So, and once July's over, you guys are going to want to be at Beauty Summit. So this is where we have a couple kind of fun stories we want to tell, both about entrepreneurship and never giving up. And then also a couple just beauty summit stories about just the key, like how important it is to get yourself there. And if there's anything that's stopping you, no matter what it is, real or imagined or anything else, please talk to us, because it does change your business. And it gives you this really good clarity and perspective, as anyone who's on this call who's been, like Carla and Meredith. I mean, you guys know it just changes everything. So that being said, I would actually love it if Amelia would tell we had a couple of fun stories today that we wanted to share. And there's one that I was thinking about in particular, going back to that mindset piece, Amelia, that maybe you could tell. That's one of my all-time favorite stories. And this is really going to really ring true. If you're at a point right now where you're like really close to hitting, let's say you're really going for senior influencer and you're just not feeling it happen, or influencer or executive or senior exec, whatever it is, or like hitting that like power seller number, getting to glam, whatever it was, you've got to hear the story from Amelia's year one, and just, you'll love it. That's all. Okay. Tell it.
So in 2016, so I joined in March of 2015. Our first conference was in 2016, and August was the final month to reach your thing you wanted to be recognized for. Okay, I'll just try to make this quick. So I had been the equivalent of senior influencer, which was our star at the time. The ranks were totally different, for probably 6 months straight. And then I wanted to be associate director, was the equivalent of executive, but we also needed to have 2 team members who were stars to have that rank. And I was like hell-bent. I was like, I will be an associate director at Beauty Summit. And so I had 22 team members. At the time, in the very beginning, they had some Stella and Dot people get memberships with Ever, and a lot of them did it, and they got assigned to various people. So I got, I think I got 5 Stella and Dot assigned to me, and one of them was Linda Brown Kidd, who decided to build. And so I had been working with her. There was really, out of that team, there was three or four who were building. And so, we banded together, and I was like, I was really going to go for this rank. And so, but I needed 2 of them to be star, which one of them had never hit before. I don't think anybody had hit it before. And it was it was kind of like a crazy leap. And we just kind of pulled out all stops. And I had never gone so crazy for something. And I literally did everything I possibly could. And we were up that whole last night working and adding the numbers and stuff. And long story short, I was calling people to move their orders. At the time, Leslie was a customer, and she was not responding to me about the business. I had sent like a few emails. She was probably a customer for almost a year at that point. And she had a youthful unsubscribe to save for like 2 days later. And I called her and asked if she could move it, because we were just eking out every dollar, right? And she moved it. But it was just very funny because she just like was only in customer land, which is a whole other part of the story. But like we killed it all night long. I was up till like 3 a.m. trying to make sure all the numbers came in. And I was like, we did it. Like we totally did it. We landed at, it was like 10,032. Like we just barely made it. And I went to bed. I was so happy. And I woke up the next morning and I checked the dash, and my rank was the same. And I was like, what? And it turns out that I was like, something's wrong, because we had the volume and we had everything. And it turns out that Linda since she was given to me, she didn't count for my rank advancing for a year. So she had 1 more month to go till she counted in my world for rank advancing. And I just didn't know that. And I had forgotten. And we'd been working so closely, and just like, I just didn't know that. And so I literally was so crushed, you guys. Like I literally sobbed on the floor for a couple hours. I was destroyed. I called Ever. I called fellow leaders. I was like, you guys don't understand. Because in my mind, it really was like the biggest thing I'd ever done. I literally bled for it, and I didn't have it, and I wasn't going to be that rank at Beauty Summit, which was like my whole reason. It was an extremely dramatic, sad day. And it was so bad. And there were so few of us that so Jessica Heron texted me because I was like, I was gone. I was like, is there anything you guys can do? You don't understand. I did everything I asked for everything. I can't ask for anything again. I can't do this again for anybody. Blah, 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 blah. And she texted me back. And she said, Amelia, this is Jessica Heron. Congrats on a huge August. I can't wait to celebrate you. And I also want you to know I'm looking into the adopted leg timeline you sent over. I understand that while it shows adopted on reports, it did not show when she expires. We're discussing that as a team. I want you to know how deeply valued you are, and we can't wait to celebrate you. And in hindsight, I'm like, I was being so ridiculous. And she was so kind and amazing, and we've really laughed about that since then. And since then, it's all in perspective. But I'm so glad that happened to me, because I know so much what it is to just go like crazy for something and then not get it, and then not get it publicly. Like I had made this such a public thing, and then I was at Beauty Summit, not at that rank, but literally it didn't matter at all. Once I was there, what mattered is that I had grown so much in that month. It actually really did make a huge difference in my following months. All the things I couldn't see for the trees at the time, but it was one of the most important things that have happened. And since then, I've gone, very strongly for my goals, but realized with the larger view, having lived through a larger view, like the power of that you will get there, and it all matters. So anyway, that's my funny story. But
it's a great story in so many ways, and we could do a whole separate Zoom just on that story, honestly. But the best part is just the keep going part, because there are people who stop. Those things happen, and that's when you make the choice. It either stops you in your tracks and you call unfair and you bang your spoon and you walk away and that's it, or you keep going and you just learn from it. And I love that story. I find it very inspiring, because we've all had those months. I mean, heck, some people have those years, years.
Yeah. Well, then, and then I lived at the rank of star for another 6 months. And then, people started to come on who were different, and, and everybody will have a completely different journey. But if you're going in it, you will grow. So.
And the beauty of it is now Ever's evolved. So, and I think with the new people that we have on right now, with Jeremy and Buck, and with now Ani, even in her new role, just all of these people are creating an environment, I think, giving us a real platform in July to really go for it, to hit whatever goal you want. So whatever it is you want, just go for it. We're all doing that. I'm doing that. Amelia's doing that. I'm coaching everyone to just go for it and shoot for the stars. And it's really not about what you're walking across stage as. What it's about is knowing that in going for it, where are you going to be even a year from now? Where are you going to be in the fall? What's Christmas going to look like? So really, really using July to just fuel your business. And with that, there are a lot of really fun tips and tricks we have up our sleeve to do that, that I think is going to be fun. So maybe we can toss to that as well, Amelia, to bingo and everything.
Yeah.
I don't have the agenda in front of me. I apologize.
We're going to a fellow leader, April Likens, created a bingo chart, which is really good. We're going to post it tomorrow and post prizes around it. But it has, it's really great for anyone, no matter what stage you are in the business. It's just going to have simple, actionable, fun squares that you can do and fill it out and end up having a bingo. And everybody, ideally, you're filling out the whole thing over the month, which is very doable. But it's fun and it will advance you. So that's going to be posted tomorrow. And then some ideas to infuse and support your actions surrounding the bingo, really thinking, and it's all really the basics, like your event ideas, everybody who's going for a goal. And I think the goal, if you look at the rank you currently have, or if you just joined, look at the very next rank. Like, we're looking for everybody to promote. It would feel so awesome if everybody was able to promote and feel that promotion. And then, or you could think of the one in advance of that. And I think you can work with your mentor on the details and the nature of your specific business. But everybody should be looking at events. Really think, something in person every week. And it could be super small, like you and one person, a 1-to-1, a 2-to-1, and then something virtual. So we just decided today we're probably going to put together a big team event, maybe over the second or third week of July, that will mimic the UN Improved, I think, style of event that ever ran in January. That's much more telling the story of who we are as a team, and clean living, clean lifestyle tips, and Ever is all part of that. So I think that's there for everybody to leverage, but then for everybody to think of doing a virtual event of some kind that's more niche. You can focus on a certain community. You can focus on having a couple top customers host something. And we have templates for that as well, mock events that you can go in and source material from. But you could do a virtual event all for moms, focusing on the things that we have for moms and kids. Specifically, that was inspired today by the Lavish release. You can take the Leaping Bunny certification and find someone who's passionate about shelters or rescues and have them co-host a fundraiser type event online, sourcing material from both communities that will spread this message through that whole community and choose a small portion of your commissions to go to that shelter. That's an example, and we'd want to hear all of your ideas for different kind of niche online events that can be created. Of course, Meredith and Leslie in their great live the other day talked about the pop-ups as you travel, your sampling, curiosity calls, bringing people to talk with your mentor, or myself or Leslie or anybody who's willing to do a curiosity call. Great practice on speaking about this. So really the ideas are kind of endless, and we want there to be a lot of fun sharing of your activities and your ideas amongst the group, because in our talking to each other, every time I have a coaching call, I end up learning a great idea from my teammate, or we create an idea together that wasn't going to be found without the synergy of our phone call. So we can do that together. We can find people who are your rank right now who are looking to promote and form a little, power accountability group. That's a great thing to do. Yeah, it's really kind of endless. But what else, Leslie?
Yeah, no, I love the three-way curiosity calls. I would try to see how many you can bring to your mentor or to Amelia or me or whomever, because those are still so powerful. And I find that when we can do the three-way calls, it just moves everything along and everybody feels so much better. It's great to have a third party come in and chat, especially if you're working with a friend, because you need another voice in there and somebody who can be a really good sounding board and give a different perspective on the company and the products, because we all, it's funny, same product, same company, but we all have a different story to tell and we all speak about it differently, which is the beauty of it. So definitely see in July if you can up those. How many people can you find that you can bring to your mentor for a three-way curiosity call about the business? So I think setting some hard and fast goals is going to be really important in July. So in other words, getting a good system, it's going to be a little bit different. You may be traveling, schedules may be different. That's okay. Just, work around it and get something in place. I'm really encouraging people to say, hey, when do I have 2 free hours during the day or at night? Where can I plug in a little open house at my house, throw my products out, a couple bottles of wine or sparkling water or whatever it may be, and just invite people over. Meredith and I were just, we were talking about that the other day, and it's really about not overthinking it at all. Summer's crazy. Everyone, listen, kids are running around, or you've got friends in town visiting, or, whatever, you're on the road. Everyone's just kind of having fun, and it's a little looser, but that's the good thing. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that last minute pop in. Hey, I'm doing this tomorrow. Can you come over? And see if you can do that 4 or 5 times. Hey, you want to meet at the coffee shop? I know your friend was interested in, I know you mentioned you had a friend. I mean, go back in your brain and go, who's ever said to you that, oh, my friend would really like this? I promise you, everyone on this call right now has had somebody where they've heard that a friend said, oh, my friend would really like this, but hasn't done a follow-up. I'm certainly guilty of it. So this is the time to think back to those people, right? And say, hey, I know you mentioned your friend one time. I'm doing this little thing at my house. I've got 2 possibilities. Maybe you could swing by with them. Super fun, super easy, low key. So
and conversations, right? Conversations everywhere you go. Like if you really start paying attention to how many new people you're meeting around, I try to get the contact information for almost every new person I'm meeting out and about. Mm-hmm. It's always for different reasons. I just start asking them questions about their life, bantering, chatting, and I find a reason to exchange contact info. Maybe like they're about to have a baby and they wondered, how they're going to put their kids in one room. And I'm like, oh, let me send you the information on the bed that we chose for our 2 kids. It could be anything. Mm-hmm. But you get the contact info, you follow on social media, you just start new relationships, and those can be taken anywhere. And, I always have a goal to meet and get contact info for like 30 new people a month in various degrees. And sometimes those will pop more obviously into an ever conversation, and sometimes you'll guide it through different ways. But that's really great. And yeah, I know Leslie has some great stories too about just meeting people and it leading places. So.
Well, definitely the networking groups are going to be a little low on numbers. I like that because it's going to give you more of one-on-one time. I had an event 2 weeks ago. Only 4 people came to my table because it was pouring rain and it was a charity event. I felt terrible for the charity. But anyway, because they didn't get a great turnout. But, I have a lovely new specialist who I met. She was one of the 4 people and from that little event. And I truly attribute it to the fact that I was able to really focus on every conversation. So it was quality over quantity in that case. And I know that there were other vendors there who were so upset, and I looked at it like, and I mean this, like I was able to have really meaningful conversations with these 4 people and was able to have a great new specialist because of that. Or I met somebody in Target last night. She signed up as a specialist today. You'll meet her here soon. I mean, she was in an aisle looking for her poor little daughter had a sunburn. And, we just struck up a conversation, and before you know it, we had coffee today, and she just joined our team, and you'll be meeting her. These are just but you have to just be very open about it, and open to talking about ever and about the opportunity. And it just happens. But it's like every time we go out, we are brand ambassadors. So you are a brand ambassador. You are the owner. You're an independent business owner. So get out there as an independent business owner and a brand ambassador who's got something of real value to share, because we do on the product side and the business side. And just do it. But book those events, get some network, go to a networking event. It'll be great because it'll be low attendance. I can almost promise you. Visit a BNI. I realize that a lot of people cannot commit to a weekly BNI meeting, but you can visit 2, 3, 4 chapters this summer. What a wonderful way to get in front of a room of anywhere from 20 to 50 people and tell them all about what you're doing and get follow-ups with them. Caitlin Shipp did that. It was wonderful. She can't go to every week, but she can pop in every now and then. So be thinking just really creatively and outside the box, because the bottom line is you want to hit whatever rank you want to hit in July to set you up for the fall. So those are just some ideas that I have off the top of my head. That some of these are things that work for me, or they may or may not work best for you, and maybe it is easier just to be hanging out in a coffee shop for 2 hours with a couple products out and just chatting to people. Or maybe it's better to just say, who am I going to call today? Make those 10 phone calls and pick up the phone. David Box will tell you all day long. He's an excellent salesperson, and just pick up that phone. So get out from behind the screen and get out there, get on the phone the old fashioned way, and you guys are going to kill it in July. I promise you.
Make little videos, send voice texts. They need to see and hear you. And then find out what your system is. Your system's going to be different in the summer. Most people have vast schedule shifts in the summer. Find out what it's going to be. Get a system. We love the 10-4. 10 reach outs a week. Follow up. There's a whole training on that system. And just get it done. And every day the work might look completely different. It might be in 15-minute pockets one day, 1 hour chunk the next day. And that's something that's great about what we do. It can be moved all around.
Right.
Yeah. And definitely personal development every day. You could even pick just one thing you're going to listen to. Pick like this. I'm just going to do John Maxwell podcasts all summer. I'm going to just do Jessica Heron podcasts on repeat, Darren Hardy, whatever it is, Oprah Soul Sessions, but try to get that in every day, even if it's like at the same, listening in your ear at the same time as something else that's going on. So.
Right. And just don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah.
Just get out there and do it and don't overthink it. Because that'll stop anyone in their tracks. I know it stops me in my tracks. And I think about that all the time. Just get out there and just do your thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. And, Amelia, I think Amelia was you who was in your brilliance. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So don't worry about it. If they're in receive mode, which we talk about a lot, if they're in receive mode, they're going to hear what they need to hear, and it's all going to happen. And if not, maybe they'll file it away and it'll happen later. Anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Just all those different conversations. The easy ones are out there, and all of a sudden you'll run across someone who it just feels easy. Like you meet them in Target and they sign up the next day. But
right.
how many conversations to go through till something magical like that? Like the magic is out there, but just like anything, you have to uncover it. You have to uncover it.
Right. And you have to go through the 30 conversations that are no's or crickets to get to the one where it's like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this, because in the meantime, you've got a whole breadth of, people who are, in your funnel or no's or whatever. So, but it's the more you talk, the more it's going to happen.
Does anyone have any questions?
Anyone want to talk about their goal or can we help anybody kind of just map anything out even tonight and how their July is going to work? I know Nicole and Caitlin, your team's planning a really cool event for the end of July. Do you want to talk about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so we are going to a local winery and doing a big team event there. They're going to let us do a pop-up event 2 to 4, and then anybody that wants to stay afterwards, can stay for an event after that. But we create an event as a team, and I think so far we've invited like 500 people as our group. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't even invited anybody yet.
Oh my gosh. Look out. 1,000 invitees.
I did have a question though, and maybe I should know this. What is a BNI meeting?
Oh, it's the largest. Do you want me to do this, Amelia?
Yeah.
It's the largest networking group in the world, actually. And it stands for
Business Networking International.
Business Networking International. So in Cincinnati, we have 40 chapters, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
It's very professional. All the meetings are run the same, but it's a very good way to build your business. It's fabulous. It's fabulous at any point in your business. Really good when you're starting out because it's one seat. So there's only one skincare person in the room. Let's say you have 30 people in a room. Some BNI groups have 20, some have 60, whatever. But let's say there's one skincare person, there's one realtor, there's one mortgage lender, there's one roofing company. So it's wonderful because there's nobody's competing in there. And the whole goal of the group is it's a giver's gain mentality. It's how many of us I know run our businesses, which is giver's gain. So you give business to me, and in return, I'll give business to you. And it's a really, really nice system. It works very well. So Caitlin knows a lot about it, and she can talk to you too. That would be a wonderful for you to visit and get involved in. There are a lot of them in Northern Kentucky, and we can help you with that. It's super. I personally love it. And we have several people on our broader team who are in BNIs.
It's super. They're hardwired to be thinking of who to connect everybody with. And it also helps you speak about what you're doing. Everyone stands up and speaks for a minute. And so people will be looking to refer to you just from your visit. Also to court you to the group, perhaps. So it's awesome to do. And it's very invigorating to meet all those new people at once, you know?
And they open up their networks to you. And so you've got, hundreds of people then all of a sudden that you're connected to. So it's been good for, I don't know anybody who has said it hasn't been good for their business. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I connected with a financial planner there that I'm trying to do a July wrinkles and retirement happy hour.
Isn't that adorable?
That's awesome.
July is all about wrinkles for me.
That's your avatar. Wrinkles.
Send me people with wrinkles. That's going to be good.
It's great. Specific is terrific. Who else? Kathy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm great. You just had a dynamite month. So what are your plans? What are your big July goals?
This coming Sunday, I have a get together with definitely 2, possibly 6. And Alice will be joining me on that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to have a happy hour night with another, hopefully up to 10 people as well.
That's awesome.
I really am loving every minute of this. So I want to I want everybody to know about Ever.
Well,
Don't
even get me started. Yeah. Don't even.
That's really all you need right there.
That's it right there. That is being that ultimate brand ambassador, true business owner. And you just talk about it everywhere you go with love and enthusiasm and joy. And it just works, it's fabulous. I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you so much.
There's Jennifer. Hi.
Yeah, I have a question about these happy hours that you guys do. Like, are you going to restaurants or bars or whatever and asking? I'm so new to this. I don't even know how to do this. So I'm wondering how you go about it. And I'm sure Amelia will tell me, how do you find places, or you just say, or you just say, I like this bar, and I think, and how do you have everyone try the products, or you just talk about the products? Like, how does that work?
You what?
Go for it.
Me?
Yeah.
Talk about just like going to a coffee shop or a bar?
Yeah.
Well, there are a couple ways. Are you thinking about just having a couple people over to a bar to do like a Wrinkles and Wine event?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, what was it, Caitlin was saying? There's a couple of you guys that were saying that you're doing these happy hours, and I just am curious, like, where are you having them? And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Caitlin's is a bigger event that she's doing for her team that's going to be at a winery. Often, which is very cool. Oftentimes, we just open up our doors in our houses and just have a couple bottles of wine and have the gals over, and just everybody plays with products and has fun. Oftentimes, you can actually set your table and have a little mirror and some samples out with all the product, and you walk people through the regimen step by step. That's
Right.
one way.
Okay.
But I think what you're saying is if you ever just want to have a couple people like meet up at a bar or something and just
that you've done. I mean, of course, I feel more comfortable if people coming to my house or I going to their house and having happy hour or whatever. Like, yes, I feel a lot more comfortable with that than to do that rather than going to a bar where I would feel like I have to talk to the manager, and people get kind of weird about trying skin things in public, like,
it's really especially when you're starting out, do what feels right for you. I cannot tell you how many people have gone through the regimen with me at a Starbucks. So I am constantly saying, just go put a few products out at a coffee shop and call it a pop-up. And you just start striking up conversations with people. certainly meet 2 or 3 people at a coffee shop or at a bar, and you can have a few products out. I'm not saying put every single product you ever makes out on the table and pop up a big banner and hire a band, you know, at the coffee shop. But there's nothing wrong with having 4 or 5 key products out and having coffee and maybe buying somebody a cup of coffee, inviting them and just walking through a few products there. The beauty of that is, and we've all done this. I mean, Jess Marati, who's vice president on another team, is just awesome. Did this all the time too. When that one or two people are with you and they're trying it, guess what's happening? All these other people are watching you, and before you know it, you've got a couple other people coming over and checking it out. I mean, we've had cold sales from people who we've never met before, like just from sitting at a table near the Starbucks line. And then we'll be like, oh, hey, did you just work out? You know, they're like, oh yeah, I went to the yoga studio down the street. Oh my gosh, is it the, whatever yoga studio? Yeah. Oh my God, do you like makeup and skincare? Oh my God, I love it. Okay, get here. I'll have like a Starbucks card on me. I'll be like, here, it's on me. Grab coffee. They'll go, you should. Yeah, I'm like, but you have to come over and play with products. They're like, okay, great. And then boom, we've got a sale. It's fun. I mean, and it's definitely, it might feel out of your comfort zone. I don't know you, but so I'm not making it, maybe it's not at all. Sometimes it is. But you just kind of let go and know that you've got something new and exciting. And let me tell you, Jennifer, people love Ever. They love hearing about it. They love learning about new things, and people care about their skin so much. So we have great luck with just little coffee shop pop-ups. And doing it at bars. And you don't always have to get the managers, okay? If you're just doing it low-key and you've got a couple products out and you invite a friend, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and actually Alec, who's also new on the team, she's going to also have an in-home situation as well. But we actually did a little brunch last weekend, and there were 3 of her friends and the 2 of us, and we just had some minimal stuff out on the table. We had some before-afters. We had brochures and a sample or 2 for each person. And she brought 2 loaner regimens there, ready to go, that were customized for 2 of them from previous skin quizzes. So that was I'd never done anything like that. And that went pretty well. It felt great. And it was super, super low key. So there's that, there's all these different tools, and we can try any or all of them. My favorite is having people somewhere where you can just do it all. But you can't, even at table events, you can, if they're wearing minimal stuff, you can do peel pads through daylight and get the full effect also. And it's pretty non-invasive, just wherever you are.
Jennifer, the other fun one to do are sweaty to ready events. So if you have any friends with yoga studios, Pilates studios, gyms, it's so much fun because you're like, hey, I'd love to cross promote. I'll get your name out there. I'll be there 10 minutes after one of your classes. If I can get some people to your class as well, and then you just show them how easy it is post-workout to just use a peel pad and daylight, our tinted moisturizer, and they just get out the door really fast. If you're really feeling enterprising, grab one of your friends who's a hairstylist, have them come with you and show them how to do a quick dry shampoo as well. And then in that way, you're low-key introducing that hairstylist to Ever products as well. Which is great because hairstylists love Ever because we don't have inventory, and it's another cool thing they can offer clients. So there's so many ideas. So whatever feels good to you, and Amelia's amazing. You guys will figure this out in 2 seconds, but whatever feels right to you, just do it and own it and just have fun with it.
Also too, if people aren't comfortable, if it's somewhere that's really weird, that doesn't feel right, doing it on the back of your hand, it's hands down, easy breezy. And Leslie also has an awesome story about when she was getting a pedicure, and this girl literally had some polish on her, and then the next thing she knows, it was whoosh, and it was like locusts, and Leslie had everybody in the whole salon doing Ever, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to try this. I'm like, and she went out to her car, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Mona, she's one of my specialists.
I mean, literally, it was a pop-up, and she was in a place that supplies that stuff. It's amazing. She's the queen of
not at all.
Bring them to me.
No, I just don't. You just can't be afraid. Not at all. But you can't. When you've got something of such value, you just want to share it with people. It's simple as that. And sometimes it's not appropriate, and sometimes it's not the right time. But more often than not, people are really open to it. It's surprising. And it's like you get over that fear that and not caring what people think about you, well, here's my lavish, I wish Alice Lynn were on tonight. Alice Lynn has sachets, pre-made little sachets with a little mini lavish in her card. On the back of the card, it explains what lavish is. She's got to have hundreds of them. She literally, there's no one, you don't meet Alice without getting her sachet. And people love it. The Chamber of Commerce, where she lives, has her sachets out in their reception area. I mean, that's another, I wish you were on to tell that story. These little sachets are just, that is her thing. That is what she does. She leaves them with everyone she meets. And then she gets their text. She gets their text information, so they're in their text, and everybody's got that sachet. And then she can say, did you try the lavish? And it talks about what lavish is on the back. And everyone's like, yes, what on earth is this and how do I buy it? So it's just finding that one or two tools that work for you, Jennifer, that are right for you. And then just everyone you meet, it's just like part of who you are. And before you know it, people are like, oh my God, just like, where do I get this? How do I get this? Sign me up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's helpful or not, but
so I think, Leslie, I think you're like quite the talker. Just like
I am. I'm sorry.
I like to talk to people, and I'll definitely have to grow in that way, talking more to people, because I'm both extroverted and introverted. So yeah, I love talking to people about stuff, and I love talking about, I'm talking to my friends and about ever, and trying to get more comfortable about speaking about the products, and so it's definitely helpful. I'm hoping to have this mom's event. One of my friends said that we could possibly have it on the roof of her building.
Oh wow.
And so I didn't even know she had a roof of the building. I was planning on a different room in her building. So I think I'll go look at it, and then even, she's like, oh, but people might be up there. And I said, no, that's good. That's good. It'll be good if people are up there. It's fine. Because then people hear, and then they come over. That's what I was thinking. So, and even if it was in a room that she's like, I can't really reserve it. I'm like, I don't want it to be reserved. I kind of want it to be like a.
I love that. But that's all such great thinking right there.
Yeah. So
and you don't have to. Caitlin, what's that thing I tagged you in? I'm going to tag you in it, Jennifer. There's a lot of, the whole introvert extrovert conversation is a phenomenal one. And for a separate call, we'll have to talk more about that. But
that introverts do better.
Yeah, introverts do better. Ultimately, introverts do better. It's all just very interesting food for thought. And there's also something that I'll tag you in as well that's out there right now about introverts and selling. And it just really talks to that piece of it. So if you perceive yourself as being at all introverted, and more people are introverted than extroverted. And so there's this whole really neat conversation that's going on out there about how introverts, once they understand that they're actually so powerful in the sales world and how they could be so wildly successful, once they see that, they just go so much farther, because people really, in terms of know, like, and trust, a very thoughtful introvert is going to be a very powerful person.
Yeah, they really relate more. Fantastic. Okay, well, we'll wrap this up. I hope this was helpful. And just for you, set those goals and interact on that team page. We'll have some more interactive posts up and the bingo. And the more that we do that, the better and more fun it will be, which is the most important thing. I will end with a fantastic quote from Michael Jordan. And I'm going to post it. It's a picture graphic that I just want to read it every single day. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
That's awesome.
You guys.
Yeah. So that's not really failure, right? He doesn't fail. It's not fail. It's like a whole picture.
Yep.
So
100%.
All right. Thank you, beauties.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, ladies.
Congrats on June.